Welcome to another edition of Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. This show was originally created from one of the more than 300 motivational quotes I had created for the context of my books. With over 40 years of studying human behavior, I was always curious how one quote landed on another. So Naheem is one of the originals on this show. We started talking about these quotes. Were they words that just kind of laid there on a page, or were there conversations to be had? We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Kevin McLemore. I am the co-host of this and not the host because I'm joined with my other co-hosts, Larnez Kinsey, Lois Campbell, Denise Lopes, Curtis Battle, and my brother from another mother, Naheem Garcia. And based on our interpretation and perspective, we throw out a quote of the day, and we just talk about it to see how it works. The space is not designed to make you comfortable, but we encourage you and we want to inspire you and educate you and create a framework just to make you think. So the key points to the show is kindness, compassion, love, joy, and relationships and personal power and owning your own story. So with that said, bringing you a quote by Maya Angelou. And today, because we are featuring the power of women, we're going to listen to the voice of the show, Miss Larnez Kinsey. Will you, if you don't mind, will you mind delivering the quote for the day?
Sure. Grand Rising, everyone. A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim by Maya Angelou.
Powerful, powerful words from a poet and Miss Maya Angelou. We appreciate you not only in this life, but we also respect and appreciate you for leaving so much wisdom behind for the life that we're living today. And so when I want to open up this quote and let one of our gentlemen, a wise man, Mr. Curtis Battles, I want to see what your interpretation is. Because I know where the women are going to stand. At least I think I know. But you know something? I'm a man. I don't know much. Curtis, help me out here a little bit.
Grand Rising, everybody. It's great to be with you, even though I'm just waking up and getting into the groove. So it's always a challenge when you are the first one out of the box on Kevin's show, our collective effort. But I will give you my best take on this quote from Maya Angelou. So clearly, we are surrounded by wise women in our lives, people that we see in the media, people that we see all around that will take no stuff from anybody else. They are sure of themselves. They know where they're going. They've had a chance to actually pass that wisdom on down to their children and their significant others. And at the same time, I think the part that really tracks for me is they are just not going to they're just not going to be there and be run over. They always know where they're planning to go. They have a good sense of what they want to get accomplished. Sometimes it's challenging, especially in today's world, particularly for folk of color. Nonetheless, that does not in any way stop them or hold them back from what they are expecting to be the blessings coming their way and figuring out how best to take all those things that is God is passing on to them and be willing to step out and take the risks it needs to be in order to get to the next level. So that is how the quote has landed on me this morning.
All right, all right. And blessed to all the women that have empowered and allowed um, us to just exist and live this life with strength, virtue, and courage. Thank you, Mr. Battles, for that share. And I know it's tough being the first one up. And normally, the person that brings the quote is that person that normally delivers. And since I brought the quote today, I am foregoing that honor and privilege because I don't want I don't want to be the first person. But thank you for being the first person. So let's go with Denise Lopes. Denise, our educator, so proud of what you're doing and giving back. You know, my grandfather said, when you get to a place that in life you can help someone else out is your duty. And this young lady, she pours in to our young people, you know, children that get up in the morning that may miss breakfast, children that may come home to not have both parents in the house, or children that may come home that have conflict. But she's that sound voice, that pleasant place, that free space that children can land in, where they can allow themselves to be taught, can allow themselves to dream, and allow themselves to be in a safe environment. Denise, thank you for all that you do. And thanks to all our educators out there. Denise, Maya Angelou, how does this quote land on you?
Thank you for the introduction, Kevin. That was awesome. I love Maya Angelou. I love her quote. And this quote, the way it landed on me, like a wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. For me, I've learned in life that if somebody has a problem with me, I'm like, you have it, I don't. And I'm like, if somebody's like being rude or really like trying to step like what I'm doing, like, and I'll just ask, are you okay? Is there anything I can help? So I've learned to do that because sometimes you don't know what people are going on and they're projecting their fear into you. And sometimes they say if you're not doing something good, like when you're doing something good, that's when people are coming to talk to you, like bash your name and try to put you down. So for me, I have no enemy. I have love for people. That's why I send you love. And if you do, go heal and have to come back and talk to me. So that's my thing, my part on that one. And I refuse to be anybody's victim. After my divorce, I was really like, it was kind of domestic violence, but not like hitting, but mental. That was mental, emotional. That was bad. So since then, I refuse not to let anyone make me feel like that I'm not enough, that I cannot do stuff because when I separated, my husband was like, nobody's going to want you with two kids. You're never going to be anybody. You're never going to finish school. And I did. I finished my master's and now I'm going for my doctorate and I got all my licenses. And for me, it's just, I will refuse to be anybody's victim because I am not anyone's victim. I'm a God's child. And that's how this landed on me.
Well, I am so glad that um, we, as three kings, can stand here and support the three queens that we have here. We're not designed to stand on top of you, to dominate you, or to emotionally abuse you. We're here to support you, to protect and run interference for you. And we are here to allow you. We will be the first, Naheem, Curtis, and myself, to be the first to push you out to center stage, to pull a chair underneath you, and to stand in the background and hold our hands over our heart to say how proud we are and let you do your thing. You know, they say fear not their enemy, but fear the power of a woman because she holds no greater power than grace within herself. But in the event that she is crossed, beware. All right. So with that said, and this is a conversation I know, and this is long. I've been wanting to say this. I gush over my team all the time, and I say that we are HR's nightmare because we say how much we love each other. We identify not as any other letter than the alphabet, other than the name our parents gave us, and we allow ourselves to be vulnerable to each other because we know that the conversation we have only lands on a heart that cares. We don't seek out to destroy. We seek out to build. And Naheem, I'm going to tell you, this man, when he talks about his mother, his grandmother, his sister, his daughters, and whatever, you've never heard a more powerful warrior speak more passionate words when he talks about the love of a woman. Naheem Garcia, how does this quote land on you?
I don't know what you're gonna have to say at the end. You got so much to say in between people. I'm like, what? When is, shrink it down, take some air out, leave some for the rest for the later on, boy. He be, oh, I almost fell asleep. Kevin was going so gone in. Boy, he flew off. He started quoting. I said, "Is that a quote that is that a poem he's doing? What is that?" Yo, when I love you, Kevin. It's all right. I'm having
So,
fun with you. You know, when I think about this quote, first thing that comes to mind is nobody move, nobody get hurt. Mama's your first protector. Mama's your first educator. Mama's your first everything. Mama's gonna be your last everything too, because the last person you're gonna think of, especially in your last breath, is your mama. You don't want to make mama angry. You don't want to make mama your enemy. You don't want to have no problems with mama. But mama's also wise enough to let you know when the time comes for you to grow up and fly off the net, to prepare you and make sure that you have everything that you need to be victorious. So when I think about this quote, yes, I do think about those three women, those two daughters. I do think about my partner. I do think about the strength and wisdom that I've seen these women carry. And I'm just very grateful that they poured some of that into me. So that's where the wise part was. They made sure I was smart a little bit, a little bit, not much, but a little bit. But yeah, it's a wonderful quote. It's a tough quote because it's really self-explanatory. Doesn't
right.
need much to break down. It's pretty much bottom line. Your mama's your what? Your wisdom. She's the reflection of all things that you project. She's also the first person to whoop that rump when you ain't doing right. That's just like your partner, the first person to get in your case and make sure you doing right. Denise said something about what her husband was saying. Well, you know what? He didn't take any of her wisdom. He didn't accept any of her teachings, which is probably why they divorced. So
Yeah.
with that said, nobody move, nobody get hurt.
Nobody move, nobody get hurt. And especially, you know something? I'm going to say this publicly. I don't know who your ex is, Denise. All right. I don't know if any of you guys, your exes, whatever. But if you're looking at this show, I want you to look at the faces of this woman. Look at the Denise itself. Ask me what fool abused that. Tell me what idiot
No.
look.
You're saying it right. Fool and idiot.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense. Everyone dreams of having the perfect life. When you walk up and you get a queen like that, and by the way, she only stands almost 5 foot tall. All right. But in her heart, she's 7'1". All right. And how a man could sit there and call himself a man and hurt someone that brought his children into the world, that protected his heart. Again, I'm going to say fool and an idiot. All right. First name and last name. All right. We don't need to know who you are. All right. So I hope you see this show. And if you want to meet me, I'll tell you to your face. I don't have a problem because in the event you come at me, you don't want to hear Larnez. All right. That's how much. What was that quote you said, Naheem? How did you say that? Those two words?
Oh, nobody move, nobody get hurt.
All right. Okay. We're gonna put that on Larnez's shirt. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. Lois Campbell, my co-host. All right. Beautiful lady coming from the islands. And both Naheem and Denise and Lois have all come from the motherland. All right. We didn't grow up here. We didn't land here. I mean, look at your first name and your last name. And we can actually find out we're probably the only culture that really don't know our name, but we do know our heart. And when Lois speaks with that Jamaican accent and she shares her quote, okay, it's nothing but love down here. All right. Thanksgiving dinner is served every single day at Lois's house. Lois, I'm going to ask Larnaz to give us this quote for people that are just joining in today. And I'll try to make a long story short, but it's almost impossible. I'm a writer. I like words. I love words. All right. And Lois, I love you. Larnaz, one more time.
A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim by Maya Angelou.
Maya Angelou. Lois, how does this quote land on you?
Thank you. Grand rising, everyone. This quote maybe was meant or is meant for me as a wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. I would like to live in harmony with everyone. I want to choose peace over war or confrontations. I want to exert myself with my self-worth as opposed to being disrespectful. However, Don't take my kindness for weakness. Sometimes we see women as soft-spoken or appearing timid. Others may choose to take advantage or disadvantage of that woman and try to lower their demeanor or something. But when women are challenged or they're placed in certain situations, then you see that we have to make a decision. Others may look at us and say, I didn't know she had that in her. Like they may think we are aggressive as opposed to assertive, but we're really showing assertion. We really know who we are. We know what we're about. And I see this every day. Like I see it coming. I always think, I know women are going to be in the forefront sooner than later. And we are not intimidated by men, and we don't want them to be intimidated by us. We want them to be by our side by side, because, we need men. We need you, Kevin. We need you, Curtis. And definitely we need Naeem. But when you see us as strong women, don't abuse us. Don't, think that, oh, or if you see us calm and sweet and nice, don't think we're weak. We're not. So I just want to say we can let our points be heard loud and clear in a very soft way. Thank you.
You see the way she modulated that down a little bit, just like the calm before the storm. All right, all right, and believe it or not, that's the perfect
Sorry,
setup.
that was probably one of the best responses to that quote I've heard yet. Not that anybody else wasn't, but that was
Well,
deep, Lois. Go on.
I was kind of contemplating before we went to Larnez because I know Curtis is like had to go first, and it's hard to be on this show when you have to go first and after listening to this and whatever. And I know that Curtis is probably I'm going to go back to Curtis. And I probably do this in some other shows because when you start to talk about the power of the woman, he's probably looking at his wife, his sister, co-workers, and so forth, that women. Curtis, looking at this quote again when it says a wise woman wishes to have no enemy, but a wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. Um, would you like to go ahead and elaborate on what you're feeling now?
Yeah, so I just want to share this one story. So yesterday, I took my daughter, who is 23, and we had a day together. And so that included a visit to Create Bluey at Build-A-Bear. And then we went out to lunch at our favorite a little restaurant down in the White Plains area. And one of the things that we do when we are together is I always encourage her that she can be whatever she wants to be. She can lead and go wherever she wants to do and know that I will always have her back. And so I breathe that into the quote now, but based upon what everybody else has said, is that she already knows her path and she knows what's there, but she clearly is one that will take no stuff from anybody else along the way that will stop her from getting to the achievement and to the blessings that are in front of her. And she wants to bring other people along on that journey. She doesn't just want to be there and it's all for me. I see how she interacts with people and with her team and going the extra mile. And I am so proud. And I try to make sure that I tell her that every single day because it's important for us to share those feelings with those around us and support those people along the way.
All right. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to circle back. And thank you, team, for allowing me to circle back. Probably going to do this more often because it is tough being the first person up on the show. And then it is tough to follow so many highly intelligent people of color. You guys are so incredibly beautiful. And before I turn this over to the voice of our show for today, Larnez Kinsey, a good friend. I will say this. I had this conversation when we were talking about friends, and we always talk about being a friend is always being there for someone. But when I realized what a really good friend is a good friend is someone that trusts someone enough to let them know when they're vulnerable, to ask for help. That's a good friend. That is a good friend when you're strong enough to ask for help. And the reason why I'm setting it up this way with Larnez, because I've done this with Naheem and some other people. I live with a TBI, and that's traumatic brain injury. And some days my head is not working. Like today, you know, I'm kind of rambling on because my head is doing its own thing, and my mouth is just trying to say catch up and whatever. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, I had to ask Lornez in the event that I am not all me today to be there for me. So that's when you trust your friends to pick you up when you can't carry yourself. That's when you know you have friends. When your friends show up in the middle of the night, when you say that I'm not quite there, whatever, that's a friend. An associate is someone that'll put you off for tomorrow and says, I'll be there, not show up. All right. So I want to turn this over to my friend. She, I'm going to say this on Sunday morning. She is mentally and physically a badass. She is a strong woman. This quote resonates to every woman that's ever been on this show, the presence of the women that are on this show right now. And Larnez, I'm going to tell you, even though I brought the quote, I hate following you, but I love following you at the same time. So if I confused anyone, just wake up. That's fine. All right. Larnez, how does this quote, and give us the quote one more time and tell us how it lands on you. Maya Angelou, thank you.
Okay, Grand Rising once again. The quote is a wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim by Maya Angelou. How has this quote hit me? Well, a wise woman, a truly enlightened individual, knows that making enemies is a waste of precious energy. Why spend your life focused on tearing someone else down when you can build yourself up? You see, when you let someone become your enemy, you letting them live rent free in your head, controlling your thoughts, emotions, and actions. And that's exactly how you lose your power. A wise woman knows she got bigger battles to fight. She has dreams to pursue, a purpose to fulfill, and a legacy to build. But here is where it gets deep. A wise woman refusing to be anyone's victim, that means she understands that nobody, and I mean nobody, can dictate her story but her. You see, when you allow yourself to be a victim, you're handing over your power to someone else. You're letting them define your worth, your value, and your potential. And that's exactly what society wants, for you to believe that you're less than, that you're weak, that you're powerless. But let me tell you something, a wise woman who knows who she is, she stands up. She says, no, I will not be a victim. I will not let your opinion, your actions, or your intentions control my destiny. She knows that the power lies in the ability to rise above, to take every challenge, every hardship, and turn it into some form of strength. So take this to heart. Don't waste your time making enemies, and never let anyone make you feel anything less than powerful. Stand tall, walk in your truth, claim your space in this world, because that's where you become wise, fearless, and unbreakable. And that's what this life is all about. That's how this hit me.
Ding, drop the mic again, again. Hey, see, Curtis, being first, not so bad. You avoid the first shot, the second shot, whatever. But when you have a marksman on the show, like the three ladies on our show, you stand in the crosshairs of promise, potential, and sometimes catastrophe. So following Larnez, words very spoken. That was great. Maya Angelou, again, I thank you for the life that you had when you were here and the life that you left now that you're no longer here. And that's how you know that you've made an impression when someone continues to tell your story, to speak your words. You never die. So this quote, a wise woman wishes to have no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. This quote landed on me because of all the emotionally connected women that I've had on this show and have interviewed over the past 3 years. This message of self-empowerment, while self-victimization may provide some for temporary relief, but it's not a place of comfort for most women, especially most women on this show. I speak of our country's hidden secrets of women who had ideas and strengths of wisdom, not to avoid conflict, but refuse to be passive and submissive in the face of adversity. This quote speaks to me not only as strong women, and I want to avoid the word strong women, but emphasize the importance of self-respect, the ability to assert oneself without resorting to hostility. The words I speak today on this show comes from the lessons I've learned, that I've been graced with the presence of all these very powerful women on this show. I picked this quote today because of you guys and what I've learned, and how the men on this show have talked passionately about their loved ones that are female mothers and have brought them up, that have instilled power and grace and allow us to stand up and lean on you when necessary. But so many men give women, such as yourself, the credit because we all want to dominate and be powerful. But the real power lies within every woman, your mother, your aunt, your sister, your teacher, your coach, your friend. If you are a man and you are listening to this show, I encourage you to make notes and to take notes, to like, comment, and share this conversation to someone that is fostering you and understanding the empathy, and forward that over to others. Because there is no greater gift to have in this life or in this world than a woman who loves you and refuses to be a victim to you or anybody else, especially a woman that knows her own value and her own truth. And with that said, I thank Maya Angelou, I thank Lois, I thank Larnez, and I thank Denise for sharing your truth today. And I thank my strong brothers, Curtis and Naheem, Otis, and everyone else that's been on this show for allowing such passionate and dominant women to share the stage with us. Because we take 2 steps back and we let the applause that's happening right now to be all yours. So that's how that quote landed on me. So with that said, we meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I hope you enjoy the show. I hope you like, comment, and share the show. And hopefully this show has landed on you in a way that changes the way that you look at the world, especially look at your woman. All right? Turn around and give your mama a hug. Pick up that little girl that's just reaching out to you that you haven't been made time for because you're trying to get some work done that could be done anytime. Tell your grandmother how much you appreciate her. And tell your mother, thank you for giving me life. No matter how you're living your life, be grateful for the life she gave you. Because if it wasn't for her, if it wasn't for any of these women, none of us would be here. All right? And for any man that puts his hand on a woman, I would say shame on you. Smack yourself around a little bit because you have no idea the gift that you're destroying. Embrace her, love her, respect her, and then take 2 steps back and acknowledge her gift without any conversation. Just sit back and acknowledge it. So my grandfather always said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else out, he said it's your duty to do so. He said, reach one, teach one. And we what?
That we fade to black.
And ladies and gentlemen, we're out until next time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.